Hello everyone, my name is Jitendra Bafna. I am a senior MuleSoft architect. In this video, we will going to see how we can access a non-Mule application using MuleSoft API Manager. So basically my requirement is that I have a new Mule application, non-Mule application deployed on the cloud, deployed on some on-premise or it's available on the internet, but I want to set up some authentication or authorization on that non-Mule application. So in this video we are going to see how we can achieve that. So before that, let me clear few of the concept. So basically I have non-Mule application which is running like non-Mule application REST API, which is running in some cloud environment, so and that is available over the internet. But I have to set up some API manager on the top of that because I want to apply some policy like IP whitelisting, IP blacklisting, or any authentication or authorization policy on the top of that. So what we can do, we can set up the API manager for that, and like we can deploy the proxy application. So basically the request will come to that particular proxy application or like to the API manager. All the policy will be applied on the API manager or on the MuleSoft side. So MuleSoft will validate the request and like we'll check for IP whitelisting, IP blacklisting, whatever policy we have applied. So once everything is gone fine, so it will redirect that request to the non-MuleSoft REST API. Okay, so let me repeat. So what we will going to do, I have one SaaS REST API which is deployed on some cloud. Okay, and I want to access that API, or like I want to apply some policies on the top of that REST API. So what I want, like my requirement is I have to use the MuleSoft. So basically for that, what I will do, I will deploy a proxy application. Okay, and on that proxy application we will set up some policies or like using API manager, and the request will basically come to the API manager URL. API manager will validate that particular request for IP and will check for all the policy. Okay, once everything is fine, it will transfer the request to that non-MuleSoft REST API. We'll get the response back and we will return the response back to the customer or to the client basically. So in case of like if application is not available on the internet, or your REST API is not available on the internet, but and you have a REST API deployed on the on-premise, so in that case what you have to do, but I have to use the API manager, okay, for non-Mule application. Okay, so what we can do, so basically we can set up the VPC. Okay, like anything like this is my VPC CIDR mask. Okay, I can set up the VPC on the Cloud Hub, basically in Cloud Hub runtime manager. Once you have set up the VPC, you have to set up a VPN IPsec tunneling between a Cloud Hub VPC and your on-premise VPN basically. So you have to set up the VPN IPsec tunneling between your Cloud Hub and the on-premise data center, so that API manager can access the REST API deployed on the on-premise. So that is Spring Boot based REST API running on the Tomcat server that is not accessible over the internet. But if you set up the VPN, okay, between your runtime manager and the on-premise data center, then you can access those API within this particular VPC. So what we will do, so from API manager we will make sure like we deploy the API proxy application within the VPC in the Cloud Hub. Once we deploy that, then we will apply the policy on the API manager. So the request will come to the API manager URL. API manager URL, API manager will validate the request, like whatever policy we applied, like IP whitelisting or blacklisting, it will check that policy. If everything is fine, so the request will go to the on-premise this Spring Boot based REST API. Okay, so in this we will going to see this particular demo for now. Okay, so for for the application which is not accessible over the internet, you can do this particular setup. Okay, so let me move to my REST client. So basically I have this application which return the time basically. Okay, so I send the request, I got the some this particular response back. But what I have to apply the some header like IP address. I want to make sure like the request is coming from proper IP address. Okay, so basically now I will send it, but there is no validation on the IP address, but I have to put that is the requirement. So I have my MuleSoft API manager. So what I will do now, so I will move to my MuleSoft API Manager, Anypoint platform. Let me log into Anypoint platform. Okay, let's wait. So just I will pause the video till I log into my API manager. Yeah guys, welcome back. I'm able to log in into my API manager. So what I can do next, so I first what I will do, it's generally, I will suggest you define the RAML for that, for your on-premise API. So basically, like, if you want to access that RAML through the developer portal, if you want to make it public, so you can easily do it. So I will write one small RAML. So I will say create API specification. I will say time zone API. I will say create specification. So I will use this particular so let's wait while it's open design center for us. Okay, so it opened the design center for her. So let me do this thing. So this Asia and Kolkata, I will make this as a like URI params region slash I can say city. Okay, and I can say this is my get method. Get responses 200. I will keep it simple. Application, I want to say 200. Okay, so basically I was saying, like, 200, my response is 200. I don't know what's the problem here. Just give me a second. So I can say 200 body, and I want applications slash XML. Okay, so that's just my endpoint. So I will just publish this to Exchange. So generally we always publish to the Exchange. Okay, I can give the version 1.0.0 and I can say v1.0. I can publish to the Exchange. I will pause the video till it get published to Exchange. Yeah guys, welcome back. So it has been successfully published to Exchange. So now I can go to my API manager. Okay, so I can say manage API from Exchange. So I can type for time zone API, asset type RAML OS. This will automatically, it's Mule application, so I don't want, like, it's endpoint with proxy. Select. Okay, and implementation URI. So I want, if you see my diagram, I want to create a proxy application which can transfer the request to this particular non-MuleSoft REST API. So what I can do, I will give this particular path. This is my implementation URL. So you have to tell where is your implementation. Okay, so what you can do, you can go to your API manager again and give this implementation. This is my implementation URI in advanced options. So basically you deploy application on 8081. Okay, so validate the request inbound, that is fine. Yeah, okay, so you can keep everything as it is. So cloud hub, it's not hybrid also, so save it. Okay, runtime, I can select anything. So I will always take the latest, and I can say time zone proxy API. Okay, update application if exists. So I will call this as a time zone proxy API. This is my implementation URI. So what is implementation URI? So basically you get the request on the API manager and it will transfer the request to this particular URI. So let me do deploy. I will say close. So let me go to runtime manager. So let's wait till it deploy the application, so I can show you on the runtime manager. You will see it's deploying one application into the runtime manager. I will pause the video for some time till the application get deployed. Hi guys, welcome back. So my application has been successfully deployed. Okay, you can see that. Okay, this is application, this is my proxy application. So now instead of sending the request directly to the time zone, I will send this via a proxy application. In proxy application we have given this as my implementation path, so I will remove this much of the path. Okay, I will say slash, and I want to put HTTP in front of this. Let me send request. What happens? Let's see. We got the response via this proxy URL, correct? So now we are able to process the request from MuleSoft API Manager to non-MuleSoft application. So we are able to transfer the request from MuleSoft API Manager to non-MuleSoft API Manager. But still, if you see one problem, the IP validation policy is still not there. So what we can do, I can go to API Manager and I can apply the policy on the top of that. And whatever policy you can apply, client ID enforcement policy or anything, no? So that is also can be done, but here we will keep it simple. Okay, so whatever, so I will go to this application version 1.0. I will go to policy, apply new policy, and I will search for IP whitelist, or you can say IP blacklist also. I will say 1.2 IP whitelist. I will use it. I will say configure policy. Let me copy this IP for now. Okay, and make sure this header name also match. So this is my IP. Okay, and I can say okay, I will copy this because my IP will be coming in. Okay, so it will be X IP address, so it is in header, right? IP address. So that's the policy I need to apply, and this is the IP I need to whitelist. Apply. You can add. So what is the problem? Limited list of IP allow. Okay, I want to add. Click on this plus sign, sorry. So apply it. So generally once you apply, it take at least 45 seconds to 1 minute for policy to get applied. So let me send the request again. Okay, I don't know why we got this error. X IP address. Let's wait while policy is getting applied. So let me edit the 192.168.67.88. okay, let me send the request again. So let's check the logs exactly what is happening. Okay, so you can go to runtime manager. So you can see everything in the log. If something is not working, is fine. Okay, I think I have done something wrong. X IP address, copy this. Let me go to policy again. I think I have done something wrong. Go to API manager. let me go to let me go to whitelist. Let me check edit. Okay, so I'm sending as a header name as a XIP ADDRESS. Okay, this is correct. Attributes dot header I'm just checking it. It should work actually. I don't know why it's not working. Oh, I forget to put this. Okay, that's why it's not working. Let me apply. Okay, now it should be fixed. Let me send the request. So now we got the successful response. Okay, we got it. Let me change the IP address. So it wants this IP address is invalid. So that is how you can apply various policies. So let me put 88 and let me send the request. Now you got the successful response, right? So now I have shown you like how we can access a non-Mule application using MuleSoft API Manager, and you can apply the various policies. Like if you want to apply, let me show you one more thing. So I will keep it simple. Okay, let me click on this and let me remove this policy. I will apply the new policy. Okay, so instead of I will take IP blacklist 1.2 configure, and I will copy this. I will apply here. I will copy this. Instead of, make sure this time I don't do mistake with quotes. X IP address. Okay, I will make 89 instead of 88. I will add. Okay, I will apply. Okay, I have applied the IP blacklisting policy this time. Okay, let me send the request. So 88 is whitelisted, 89 is blacklisted. Okay, still it's not, policy is not applied. Let's wait. Yeah, so you can see the IP address is invalid, so 89 is not allowed. If I use 90, that will be allowed. Okay, so that is how you can access the non-Mule application using MuleSoft API Manager, and you can apply the policies, and even you can access any application which is deployed on-premise, any REST API deployed on-premise, and you want to apply the policy. So you can use this particular architecture where you have a VPC. You can set up the VPN IPsec tunneling between on-premise and your cloud hub. Once you've done that, so you can using implementation URL. This is very important. Make sure you are giving this URL as a correct URL. So you are seeing this is the URL where I have to transfer the request. So basically what is happening, so when I am passing the request to this, so the request comes on this URL to proxy application. It check for the policies and everything. Once the policies and everything successfully authorized, so okay, so what happens, it change this URL. So this is the URL, then the URL will become like this. Copy. Now URL will become like this. It will remove this much of the part and apply at the front of it, right? So generally request has been transferring from API Manager to non-Mule application. So that is how you can transfer your request from MuleSoft API Manager to the non-Mule application. I hope you like this video. Thanks for watching, and if you like it, just subscribe and click on like button.